one of the things that I talk about a lot with my clients and is called the term erotic triggers. And I think it's really important to know your erotic triggers, and actually, as you get to know somebody, if you start dating, to find out what theirs are. And what I mean by erotic triggers, I actually divide them into the 5 senses and the 2 extras. And I did a whole show on this. I have a web show called Sari Cooper Sex Esteem, and it's on YouTube. It's also on my website, centerforloveandsex.com. And I really talk about hearing, smelling, tasting, visual, and what am I missing? Touch, tactile, thank you. And then the 2 extras actually are psychological and emotional. And I think those are really important to differentiate for yourself. And so in the same way, how many of you know that book, The 5 Love Languages? It's a real big bestseller, right? I actually think there are erotic love languages or erotic triggers in the same way. And so while you may be a person whose erotic trigger is touch, like I need to be touched all over, or I need to be touched in certain places to even relax, to even think about getting into a sexual realm, your partner may be very visual. And I can't tell you how many couples I have in my office who say, you know, he wants me to dress up and this and this and that. I don't, you know, it seems silly to me. It makes me look, you know, cheap. And I'll say, okay, and if that's his play, would you like to do it? Would you like to play with him? And the other thing I like in erotic play too, and this is not in a weird way, I really want to sort of preface that, is when you were a kid, and some of you may never have been athletes, but you were a kid at 4, 5, 6 years old, and maybe you've seen it with your own children, if you have them. There's a time in which kids play just for the fun of it, and they play make-believe, boys and girls. They play superheroes, they play house, they play doctor, they play all sorts of games, and there's no winning or losing in it. It's for the absolute joy. And kids take play really seriously. I remember it very vividly. We used to play house, and every day at recess, everyone switched roles. And in that day, if you were like the dog and you wanted to be the sister, it'd be like, and you tried to be the sister, and they're like, no, 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 no. You're the dog today. Stay the dog today. And you had to do dog really well. So, and that's why it's serious. And so in that way, sex play and erotic triggers, it's kind of serious in that you have to be in it. You have to be in it to play. And there are no winners or losers. And even when I say psychological, I'm talking about power exchange. Because, and not in, and this also gets misunderstood in my office a lot. So power exchange is who's leading, who's following. I mean, an extreme version of that is dominance and submission. And some people like to play that. But I would say even in the most vanilla kind of sex, you know, scenario, people are playing with power. Leading, following, teasing, right? Those are all playing with power. Now the emotional, that may be your erotic trigger, is about emotional intimacy, right? And so I hear, you know, plenty of women in my office say, if he would just like ask me about my day, if he would like listen when I tell him a story, if she could just, you know, first warm up by connecting with me or asking about the kids. This is emotional intimacy. And for some people, they just can't get through the door into an erotic realm without that emotional intimacy. So you have to know your erotic triggers, and you have to learn how to articulate them so that you feel confident with that sex esteem to talk to a new partner about that.